Hi there, Lindsay here, and today I'm going to do a bake with me, and I'm going to show you the Joy-Filled Eats homemade Little Debbie Fudge Brownies. This recipe is a fantastic replacement for the store-bought version of the Little Debbie brownies, and I just thought I'd take you along as I made them. I'm not going to give you exact measurements for everything. The recipe, I will link it down below in the description so that you can go check out Joy-Filled Eats for yourself. She's got a ton of really great THM recipes. This particular recipe is a heavy S because of all of the cream that's in the ganache, so try not to have these too often. Here I have my butter, my 100% unsweetened baking chocolate. These are cubed up in my mixing bowl. I'm going to be melting these down in the microwave. I've got my eggs, and this is a trick that I use often. I typically don't know that I'm going to bake something until the moment I'm going to bake something. This particular recipe calls for room temperature eggs. So I took my eggs and I put them in a bowl of lukewarm water while I was preparing the rest of my ingredients. So now these are room temperature eggs. I've got my vanilla here, and in this bowl I've got my gentle sweet. It's homemade a gentle sweet with erythritol and powder stevia. And then back here in this little bowl I've got my almond flour, my coconut flour, and my salt. So I'm gonna start and I've also got back here my walnuts that we'll chop up in a minute. I'm gonna go melt this down in the microwave on little 30-second bursts, stirring in between so I don't burn it, but I do get it melted thoroughly. My chocolate and my butter are mostly melted down, and so I'm just gonna sit here and I'm gonna stir this together until my chocolate is completely melted. Does anybody else find it easier to crack eggs whenever they're room temperature? So I'm going to whisk those in very, very well. And I say whisk, but I use a fork because I find it to be the most user-friendly for me personally. I'm going to add in my sweetener. So again, I've got my almond flour, salt, and coconut flour. Now my vanilla. Okay, let's clear off our surface here. Walnuts. So my walnuts are all chopped up. Let's get those mixed in. Here I have a lightly greased, parchment-lined 9 by 13 inch pan. Let's get all of our brownie batter into the pan and let's spread this out evenly. I've got my brownie batter evenly spread throughout my 9 by 13 inch pan. I'm going to put this into a 350-degree oven and I'm going to bake it for 20 minutes. Check and see if it's done, and if not, just go a couple of more minutes. My brownies have come out of the oven and they are now cooling, and so I'm going to make the ganache topping, the frosting, whatever you would like to call it. Here I have my heavy whipping cream, and over here I've got my 100% unsweetened baker's chocolate. And the objective here is to have equal parts of baking chocolate with your cream. I went ahead and just did a solid 8 ounces of each, just to make life simpler for myself so I don't have to just take away an ounce here and an ounce there. Anyway, and the only other thing I'm gonna need is some more gentle sweet. So I'm gonna pop this into the microwave and get it just under boiling point, so maybe a minute and a half. And while this is warming up, I'm going to chop this finely. Here's my cream that is all heated up. I'm gonna go ahead and pour in this part of my chocolate that's chopped up and then continue chopping this piece. Okay, so I've got all of my chopped up chocolate in my hot whipping cream, and I'm just gonna sit here and stir this for as long as it takes to fully incorporate it and create a smooth, silky ganache. I'm gonna add in some sweetener. I'm now gonna take this and pour it over top of my brownies. So here are my brownies. Here's my ganache. And I like to make a nice even layer. I'm now gonna take this and stick it back in the refrigerator so my ganache can fully set before I cut it into my brownie bars. So my brownies have completely set up, my ganache has completely set up, and I'm ready to slice these into bars. All right, I was able to get 24 bars out of one 9 by 13 inch pan. And here we go. They look delicious. My homemade Little Debbie brownies are complete, and I'm excited to dive in and try one. I've got my 3 girls back here, and I think they all might want to try some too. Here is what it looks like. It's really like spot on to me as a knockoff of the Little Debbie's brownies. Mm.
Do they have walnuts in them?
They do have walnuts in them.
Yeah.
And I cut off a little piece for each of my girls, except the baby.
The baby can't eat yet.
She is not able to eat yet.
No, not eating it.
Okay, come over here, have a little taste. Tell me what you think. Yummy? Molly Bear, what do you think? Thumbs up for Molly. Those are the homemade Little Debbie Fudge Brownies from Joy-Filled Eats. My family loves them. I love them. I like to keep a batch of them in the refrigerator almost all the time just because they are such an easy, quick fix whenever I've got that chocolate craving. I do keep what we call Jack, which is just Jared approved chocolate. It's basically this my take on skinny chocolate from the THM cookbook, and that's great. However, there are times whenever I want something more than just a little square of chocolate. I want like an actual something I can sink my teeth into, and that's what this particular recipe is for me. I hope you give it a try and let me know if you like it or not. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!